Hey all, it's Floki. Happy Labor Day weekend. I have been fiddling this weekend away in my creative testing world, where I am working on different furniture and other sorts of ideas. Actually, it's kind of fun and kind of illuminating to kind of play around with some of these things this way. So I want to kind of show you what I've been doing and hopefully give you guys some ideas. So that's kind of the whole purpose behind here, is kind of show you some different things you can try. I don't think I've ever played in this mode before. Yeah, I don't know if I like this. Let's go back. Okay. Alright, so these are different kinds of, let's start now. This is all sorts of different kind of furniture and everything I've been playing around with. So there's different kinds of wall lamps here. Kind of wondering, what would this look like? The lanterns look awesome. Loving it. Lanterns with iron bars, definitely a neat look. Different kind of ideas for like candles type of stuff for, you might use them in a build or something like that. So a couple different ideas. The stone grinder, the grind wheel kind of gives a nice, neat texture that you can do there with that. Things like this didn't work. Yeah, the eggs kind of look weird on top of there. Okay, next thing I got a whole. Let's see, these were just a couple different ideas with the lanterns. The chain, it kind of looks almost like a chain's kind of neat, and I played around with that with the glass here. Definitely cool. I could see like if you had something outdoors and you wanted to have it so it looked like you had hanging lamps going on there. These are the sea pickles. You can do these in all sorts of really cool ways to kind of look like kind of some neat lamps. Just little detail items you can do here, yeah. Kind of looks like a modern lamp. I don't know, that meh, not really. These are two different things I've got here for different kinds of lamps. Half of these, the ones on the right are on end rods, the ones on the left are on iron bars. So just played around with different kinds of ideas. That kind of look, a lot of these end up looking like kind of retro-ish. Some of them look kind of maybe new in terms of how they look for being a lamp. Kind of neat. I don't know. I definitely, some of my favorite are using the turtle eggs or using the sea pickles. Just a few different things. Yeah. This is neat. Okay. This is the red mushroom block. It looks like a die. Like you could use this maybe in like a kid's bedroom or something like that, or it might look neat in a game room of some nature. Definitely a neat texture, and I never see it used, and it definitely looks neat. Also, along the same lines, this is a mushroom stem, and it's got kind of this ribbed look to it. It's very natural looking. It might make a really neat sail for a boat. Also notice that like the top also has the same texture, so it's not like it's got a weird texture on the bottom. This could make a really neat sail, as it does kind of look almost animated looking. I don't know. So these were kind of the different ideas I was playing around with. Here's what happens if you use iron, which interestingly enough, the iron block, these go this way. Quartz pillar block goes this way. You could do some neat little designs with that, I think. Then kind of other things, yeah. Just every different kind of block, what it would look like if I put it on. That almost looks kind of like a 50s lampshade, maybe. I don't know. Just different things. This is neat too. This almost looks like 70s-ish with the wet sponge. Only problem is, and I didn't realize this until now, it drips. Kind of odd that it drips. Also, if you use a flower pot and put a brown mushroom in there, it kind of looks like a bulb, like a light bulb. Kind of just different, just neat idea. Okay, next I had fire pits. Okay, now a little trick here is if you take a trap door, it's stuck this way. I can't change the direction of it, right? Of a metal trap door, iron trap door. If you put a redstone torch or redstone block below it, it'll stand up, and so you can do things like this, where I've got like a little tiny fire pit with the campfire here. It looks good. The iron bars, not so much. I don't know. It just seems like I'm too separated from it. With the fire, it looks definitely cool. Again, with the iron bars with the fire, this is like enclosed one, kind of like you see at the hardware store. They'll have like the fully enclosed boxes. Usually more decorative, obviously, but there's only so much I can do. Here's what happens if you do a single block, a half block, and you have it set. Kind of neat. If you had like a nice outdoor back patio, any of these sort of things would work with that. This is using wall block, meh. And this is my attempt to make a chimenea, which if anybody's ever seen a chimenea, it's like this little outdoor oven sort of thing. It's completely decorative. Looks like a chimney that's outside, basically. Okay, next I have, using some of these very same ideas, I've got grills, for outdoor cooking. Um, I personally have a nice grill. It's a Weber Performer, and it's kind of similar like this. Here, I think my fire keeps going out on this one, but similar ideas. Yeah, I kind of like it with the spruce. Kind of looks nice. Maybe a little bit older. I like how you can go and see the fire. Some of these, the andesite stairs kind of look like a brushed steel. Um, yeah, if anything Minecraft needs to do, we need iron, more iron things. Iron stairs, iron slabs would be kind of a neat addition. You could do some neat texturing. Um, Here's kind of the same idea, except with a smoker on it. If you put, instead have the fire in there and then have one of these across, it looks like flames shooting up, like I got like a real hot grill going here. I could be cooking some steaks on or something. Obviously got my cooked steak and my uncooked steak there, and of course my spatula. And this was the first one I did similar-ish. This was with a campfire to go and see what it does. And instead of having the flame effect, you have like the smoke effect. So yeah. Next is a whole bunch of different kind of lounge chairs. I think some of my favorite use this dark prismarine. It definitely looks nice, especially with like an oak fence on the side. Here's again with prismarine. This definitely seems outdoorish. With end bricks and puke blocks, I think they're called. And then we've got these are quartz, the smooth quartz, and the smoothed sandstone, the red, and the regular varieties. These are amazing blocks. I love the smooth sandstone. It's a very, very pretty block. Yeah, there's a bunch of different uses for that too in terms of making furniture. Next, I've got some very nice little small tables. So these kind of look like some work tables or side tables that you'd have using just trapdoors. And I did the same thing, except for here I used half slabs. And I personally like this one the best. Again, using that trick with the redstone torch to go and make it so that your trapdoors stay up. And it kind of looks like a little workbench. Maybe, I don't know, maybe a slightly industrial. Also, another neat look is this one here. And that might go well, too, with one of those lounge chairs over there. Yeah, the contrasting colors seem to work really nice. Like the white of the quartz with the dark of the spruce looks awesome. And again, this kind of almost looks like a brushed steel. And then this is a very complementary set of colors with the smooth granite or polished granite and the jungle trapdoors. So that's a few of those. Next thing I've got is a whole bunch of different kinds of tables. Again, this looks like kind of like a work table. This is using a very similar setup to what you would do with a trapdoor, where you go and put a redstone torch below, and you can go and pop these pistons up, and you can kind of make a neat looking table with them, kind of do some neat designs. Similar, but with regular half slabs. Okay, second trick of this whole thing is that if you use a coral fan, or a coral, whatever this is called, a coral block, it looks like a basket. And you can put so what you do is you put an item frame down first, then you put the fruit or whatever you want to have on the item frame, then you have your coral. Now, if you want it to look like it's silver or stainless steel, you just leave it like it is and it'll die and look like that. Now, if you want it to actually look this pretty color, which I can go and show you what those are next, you have to have a waterlogged trapdoor underneath it, and then it will look like that. It looks pretty. It's amazing. It's one of my favorite things I figured out here. I can't believe nobody else has seen this. Some more similar tables. This here is kind of a bigger table. In order to make the feet to it or the legs to it look right, you take your stair blocks and you just go around in a circle around, and that will make your feet so they kind of look right, so they're centered. This looks a little more rustic. I definitely like playing around with the textures here, like using the logs or the stripped logs to go and make them look neat. Yeah, so this is like my favorite like rustic table right here. I think this is dark oak. This is dark oak, or it is spruce. I'm not sure which, but it definitely gives a neat texture to this. And then we've got like a blue basket with some berries, and the berries are like the best thing possible to go and put in this. They look the best. They look really nice. The bread also looks nice in there. This again is with kind of a cute little design to it, where it's kind of going around in a circle. These instead I put on top of armor stands, and it looks just kind of meh. It's okay. Armor stands are kind of interesting to play around with. Anyways, so about the corals. There's what, 8 different kinds of corals. These are all of them. I was playing around with them to go and see if there's anything worthwhile I can do with them, and these are meh. I don't know what I can do with these. I can't come up with anything. It kind of looks like a plant. The rest of these they look neat. They got kind of a neat color to them. I really like the red, the yellow, and the blue the best. I don't know about the pink and the fuchsia. So there are those. Next thing I made in here was a whole bunch of different kind of chairs. So it looks like a king's chair or a maiden chair at the table, and then I've got these smaller chairs that almost look like a smoking chair or something like that, something you'd have by a fireplace in, like, say, a 1920s kind of build. These are my, quote, restoration hardware chairs that have like the metal sides or the metal back. Kind of has a neat look to it, again using that trick with the redstone torches. It's a neat mix of contrast to the colors there. Another couple simple little ideas for chairs that look neat. This is my attempt at a Game of Thrones chair that did not work. It's okay, not great. And then this over here are 2 chairs using the scaffolding block, which they're just meh. These actually look better as tables, just literally just like that. That looks like a much nicer table to me than a chair. It's a cute little side table. I want to use that like all over the place for little tables, like say like a lamp on or something. Okay, next thing is these are takeoff places for if you've got an elytra and a riptide trident. So these are different ways you can go and stand in water. Say it's actually pretty easy because it's only half block and just take off, and they actually look nice in your region. Simple as a hole in the ground with a half slab in it. It's pretty easy to get into and go. These kind of look fancy. It almost looks kind of like, I don't know, it just looks neat to be able to do this. The last of few of these are like a little water trough, essentially. Another nice little way of disguising what it is and not just looking weird. Over here, I've got 2 different pool table ideas, which pool tables are pretty easy to do. The first way is to go and use the upside down stair blocks, and you put a couple signs in there, and then all you do is put green carpet across it, and it looks like a pool table. Second idea with 1.14 is using the lecterns. This actually looks like the side rails. Kind of a neat little texture you can add to it. I think you have to have these sides on here because otherwise it looks weird with the lecterns. It just doesn't look great. So there's those 2 ideas. And then next thing is pianos. So I was playing around with different kinds of pianos because we now have the loom block that looks like piano keys. Definitely a neat texture to it. And even the backside of these has kind of a neat texture to it that almost looks old-timey-ish. It's just, yeah, played around with different kinds of ideas to some of these. Some are pretty simple. This is a little bit more grandiose and large. Yep, that looks horrendous. And then these are all grand pianos, so different grand piano ideas. I think I kind of like this one the best. This one over here is also neat, where you can go and use the trapdoors to kind of make it look like the lid is open. This is a bigger version of it. I wanted to do something so I could set a plant on top of it, which of course you got to do like with a rose because that looks evil. So that's one way of doing that. This also uses the lectern as well to kind of give it a little more depth. I don't know if I care for it because it becomes so tall. That extra half kind of makes it really tall. This is another kind of a neat way to do this. Pretty simple. I might actually do this with these looms the other way. But this kind of looks like almost like something you'd see in an old-timey bar maybe. This is using, of course, the new barrel block. So really cool little things you can do. All right. Next, along the same idea of music, I have got 2 stereo systems. So this is kind of your standard stereo system here, which is, I've got my DVD rolling here, my vinyl, or however you want to go and think about it. And, of course, my stereo going on with the loom and all that. You can just as easily do this with note blocks as you could with a jukebox. So if you could use a jukebox, it actually would play music, Here, of course, is the full-size Mondo system with the double bass and the tweeters, as you can see here. And also comes with high fidelity system nice, buttons you can change. And of course, you got to have your Paul McCartney posters here. You got to have all that with your great system here that looks bad booty. Okay, next thing. I've got over here a couple of, this is what I was just doing the other day, was little ideas for beds. So just simple little frames for beds, essentially. I don't know, it kind of sits a little bit low for these signs on the side. This is my attempt at a sleigh bed. Terrible. There's got to be a better way of doing this. Probably other ways of doing this, where if you got the bed up against the wall, so you can try maybe texture the wall instead, and maybe looks better. I don't know. This looks a little more modernish, or maybe 1920s ish. I don't know, or something like that. This looks fairly modern. Okay, next up. And let's flying through the world at the greatest of speed. And here we are. This is more of a bedroom furniture sort of thing going on here. So we've got your classic armoire. I have built this before, and I think it is lovely. Having I used upside down stair blocks on the bottom here with a couple of signs that kind of make it look a little bit, I don't know, make it look a little better. It gives a nice little texture to it. Okay. It's kind of the same thing, except I've used the oak here. I used these so you actually could see through it, so you could see the clothes that are inside. And so I took the armor stands and pushed them in here. And if you use different items to push the armor stands, it pushes them different distances. So you actually can have them at slightly different spots. I've tried messing around with water, and the water doesn't quite work. I can kind of show you what I figured out here. I did a whole bunch of testing with armor stands in terms of how far they would go if they're pushed with different items. So this is just regular. That's if you just place it. That's just regular. It goes a little bit farther if you use a rail. It goes a little bit farther if you use trapdoor, and on up the way, glass, or if you use iron bars or a fence post. See, I'm going a little bit farther up each time here. So you actually can create this offset system of armor stands, say with clothes, if you wanted to have something that looked like it was full of clothing. And so then the farthest you can send them appears to be these few blocks here. And so yeah, and that puts them, I think, all the way up against the edge, if not that's still almost in this half. So it's just interesting to see. Yeah, it pushes them into like the next block. It's just kind of neat. Okay, back at over here. Armoires, different bedroom furniture, again doing that. Just played around with different ideas. So this wasn't as ornate on the top, very simple. Yeah, there's probably some fancy name. That's an Amish heritage armoire there from 1845. Another cute little one. This I wanted to kind of look like it was a cherry. The acacia kind of looks like cherry, but it's almost too bright. It's almost too orange. I wish it was almost a little bit more brownish. Different ideas with using what I would talk about, the smoothed sandstone. So it's got a kind of a neat texture, kind of blends well with some of these with some of the other woods like birch. It matches really well with the birch door and the birch trap door. Whereas the wood you can see up there is a little bit too coarse. If you've got a nice piece of furniture, you usually don't see the grain on it, especially something like a turn of the century. Similar idea to the one over there. I'm calling that mahogany, but it's actually spruce. And let's see, kind of played around with the textures with these. Odd little thing. Okay, so if you've got, I think this happened here, you can put item frames on the same block as trapdoors, or as this is a door. But if you open it, and I think it's going to happen, it's going to pop off. No? Pfft, okay, I swore it did it. I swore it did it before. Okay, you can't. Yeah, it's something weird, like you can't put them on. It's really weird. You have to have them. Okay, there they popped off. Isn't that weird? That's just weird. Why don't they just stay there? See? It's there. There, they just pop off. Just so weird. Okay, these are like little drawers for, say, your clothes or that kind of stuff. I kind of have a problem with it. It feels like it's too high. I feel like I'm a child looking at these. Like I'm like 6 years old just looking over the edge here. A couple ideas with the barrel, similar. I don't know if I really care for it I don't know, maybe it would work in a bedroom. I don't know. Might be more of a kitchen type thing. This is more of a kitchen type set of shelves with, I've got plates, bowls. I guess I should have put bowl on there, but that's plate. I'm going to call that, and that's silverware. And then down here I've got different kinds of drawers, kind of like an office type drawers, or maybe bedroom drawers. I don't know. You can play around with this in terms of opening these up. It kind of makes this feel a little more active and lived in. I don't know. I don't know why I put an item frame in there with what looks like poop, some sort of rabbit pellets in there. This, if you use the quartz, kind of looks like papers in there. Maybe a little bit. I wonder. Oh. Let me try something. Gonna try something. We want the quartz pillar. I wonder. I have to wonder. Or is this gonna bust it? Ah, you gotta be kidding me. Can you not do? I don't know. That might work. And then I need a sign. This may or may not work. Let's see. Yeah, that kind of looks like I've got a file, a full file in there. That kind of is a neat look to it. Man, I wish I would have thought of that earlier. It definitely looks like I've got files. And here's kind of a similar idea-ish, with the wood instead. I don't know why I feel like I have to hold the bed, but okay. Last thing to go and show you is what happens if you do half slabs for your floor. If you do a half slab for the floor, you can actually play around with some of the textures, or not textures, or your heights. And so things like these shelves look at the right height. Now, the problem is that whatever you use for this floor has got to be the same material you're going to use for the legs of your cabinet. Otherwise, it will not look right. So if I went to here and say I did spruce, and did that and went around with this, it would be almost obvious that it was wrong. I don't know. That might work if you've got something dark, like dark oak instead, in this light around, because it might look like a shadow. I don't know. But that's one of my other little tricks, is play around with doing a half slab floor. You actually can do some neat things with it. And it might be worth just having certain areas of your build that are half slab high to go and play around with it. Other thing I did is a cute little trick you can do where it makes it look like you've got a mirror. If you've got some black glass and then put the exact same items on the other side of the glass, it kind of looks like a mirror. I didn't do this anything special to go and make it look pretty around here, but it kind of looks like a mirror. Maybe a modern mirror. I don't know. Next thing, I've got some kitchens that I made, because that's one of the things I wanted to kind of show off, and it's really hard to go and show off just a kitchen cabinet. So this is my mock-up of my personal current kitchen. So we've got the kind of pinkish granite floors. We've got our oven here. Here is our refrigerator. I had to use some redstone torches behind here to go and actually have it so these trap doors opened. Got a little book nook in the corner. Nice little way of going and dealing with these corners where you can't put two trap doors in the same spot. Just to go and throw some books in there or something. It kind of looks like it belongs. And then I've got my little oven here, which of course is shooting flames up. Kind of cute. And then in my kitchen, my personal real kitchen, I've got these Italian blue, whatever you want to call it, stones that go on the side. They're like hot areas or something like that, and they kind of look nice. Also, cute little thing I did with this is you actually can use this for real storage, because these are barrels. So kind of loving the barrel texture and what you can do with that. And dishwasher, sink. This is the table, of course, which, since I created this, it's no longer a red table. We used to have like a cherry wood table there, but now it's like a vintage table. If I was to do this over again, I probably should use some iron bars and some carpet for the top of the table. Some like white carpet in that actually would look more right. Maybe like gray. So there's that. I did a few more kitchen ideas. So this is very similar in nature, fully decked out here with all of the fixings on the sides, all the detail work. So again, similar. I used, you can't tell what these are, these beautiful pots here. That's my cast iron pot, and that's my stainless steel pasta pot right there, because you got to have a rolling pasta going on, man. That is a skeleton skull, and that is a wither skeleton skull. You just got to turn them around, and they look like pots. Other cute little details you can do, the eggs look like little containers of flour and sugar and all sorts of other things you might have up there, maybe rice. The same kind of deal goes with the sea pickles, as they also kind of look like containers. You can put them together in more than just one. I've got a couple of the other builds got more than just one. In here, I kind of played around with it. Instead, I've got like some under cabinet lighting here, fancy pants, which gets, of course, the front gets covered up by using the trap doors for what looks like the front of cabinets. Use that same trick I was just talking about with, I've got a trapdoor here that is waterlogged, and I've got my little bread basket on top of it. So it looks pretty. And my nice little work area here, again with baskets. These, of course, are the highest of quality silver, of course. You know, like really nice going on here. Definitely not just rusty old steel or old plants. So that was my modern. This is our kind of turn of the century-ish. So we've got some of the, I love these barrels as cabinets. They look absolutely perfect, as these kind of look like like door handles here. It's a really nice look to it, and like actually as a countertop, it actually kind of looks really cool. Actually, yeah, it's a neat mix that you can go and do with this. Again, I've got a cast iron pot here going beside my open air kind of oven, or what do you want to call it. I also use the new blast furnaces on the side here. Definitely look pretty. Again, a book nook. And yeah, also nice little detail. Okay, so like modern houses, you go inside and they're mostly white ceilings, so that's shown there. Over here, older houses, say it's going to have like an open wood ceiling, so you can do that really neat by using upside down stair blocks. It looks really nice like that. Again, the same thing with some of my detail work. Here you can see what happens if you put the pickles together. It definitely looks like containers of salt or pepper or other assorted herbs and spices on there. So I've also got the roasting chicken going on there. Different fun little things you can do. So that's that one. That is the rustic kitchen. Here is what I would call the medieval kitchen. So we're cooking over open fire in a fireplace. I don't know if you've never gone and like learned about how they used to cook. I don't know if it would really be medieval, but the way they used to go and do it is they would basically have their fire and they would just pull some coals off to the side here and put their pot on the coals and cook them there. So that's why I've got my cast iron pots and they're sitting on there, and I've got some leftover hot coals there. So yeah, and so we've got a really simple area here with our fireplace, and this is for our fireplace tools. And then instead of having built-in cabinets like the other two, we have got just freestanding cabinets. So that's what, and then I've got these barrels, and if you put, I know. Okay, the barrels, they look more barrelish if I go and put the tripwire hooks on them. Kind of looks like spouts on there. It's really pretty. Actually, I almost consider I probably should. You can use either levers or tripwire hooks. Kind of also look like water faucets as well. Again, using the skeleton skull as a pot that's sitting there ready to be washed. Same thing with the flower pot. So another little work area. This is again like my little rustic work area. So that is what I got for you guys today, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it was inspiring. Yeah, always looking for you guys' ideas. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's something I'm doing that I'm, something I'm missing here, guys. Let me know what you want to see, because like 14 of you watch this, and like 33 are subscribed. So let me know if I'm doing this right, if this is any good, if anybody even sees the end of it. So I'll talk to you guys later, and you guys have a good Labor Day. Not much left of it, but I hope you had a good one either way. Talk to you later. Bye.